agenda and stuff for like all the clients, and that runs like every 15 minutes. It kind of goes through all the different little client knowledge bases and aggregates it and creates this little, basically a little web page for me that runs on my computer so I can keep track of it. But yeah, full automation is something that, you know, I'm going to do at some point. I just haven't gotten there yet. I'm still feel like I need to babysit it and just make sure everything is not going to go completely crazy.
Hey, Andrew, one more question here on the CRM, building on the CRM concept. You said, so like your mini CRM, you said is pulling data to your local device from the other tools. So your prompts are actually aggregating that data locally to your machine.
Correct.
And then obviously it can go back and look at that. It's already there.
Yep.
So it's only doing the pull request one time from the database.
That's right.
Could that communicate? So at my firm, we use HubSpot. Could it communicate to a HubSpot and push it into the data into that specific person?
Yep.
And tag them?
Well, that's kind of where I was going to.
Okay.
Is as my experimentation, it's I'm not certain things I'm pulling down or deliverables or new products it's creating. I haven't pulled down the local machine, but I'm basically using the data connections and leaving the data in its source database unless I really need it.
Right. And in my case, I still have the source database. I mean, I got my own Trello. The reason I built the Trello integration is because that's what I use for project management. But I got clients that use Asana. I got clients that use Teamwork and all these other things. And I used to have to like log into all the different tools. Now I don't have to. The knowledge base actually has, like, there's one client that uses Teamwork. It'll go out and sync every card down from their Teamwork account that is assigned to me, and it'll actually push it up into my Trello and still maintain a record in my knowledge base too of what it did. And for the developer folks in here, I'm also using Git version control for all of this. So anytime it does a sync, anytime it changes anything, it's committing that to a revision history. So I basically I don't like the black box that some AI solutions could be. You know, you don't really know what it's doing behind the scenes. Like I said, I saw the Terminator, I've seen Skynet, I've seen all that stuff. You know, so someday there's going to be general intelligence, maybe not in our lifetimes, I don't know, but I like to know what it's doing, you know? Yeah.
What model are you, like, I guess, are you using, and like, what is your usage base for like all this? You know, like, are you making it like, and I guess Claude is like hard, thinking hard, medium, like, what do you set to like get pretty good results?
Yeah, when I'm doing something that requires a lot of thinking, I'm using Claude's Opus 4.6, I think is the current one now. If it's something where it's just kind of running some preset commands and following instructions, I'll kick it down to Sonnet because that's not as expensive.
Like reading email, like most of your like day-to-day stuff that you're talking about, so not coding because I get that.
Yep.
But it's just for like reading emails and like this knowledge base. Are you just using like the basic like Sonnet or like?
Yeah, because you know the documents and the instructions and everything already exist in these skill files and these global instructions that I've set. So using a less smart but cheaper model like Sonnet works pretty well for that. If I need to change something about the knowledge base, if I need to do a new integration, or if I want to like revise my processes, then I'll switch over to the higher cost one. But yeah, I'm paying for like $200 a month for the Pro plan, and there's been some weeks where I've almost used up all of my.
Just from I was wondering how many tokens it was.
Yeah.
Emails and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I will have like multiple terminals open, and there was one week where I had 8 different things going for 8 different clients, and it was all using Opus. And I got a warning by like Thursday morning saying, you're at 80 whatever percent of your tokens for the week. And I thought, oh, I need to slow my roll a little bit and use the other models. So yeah, you can burn through it fast, especially when you're doing multiple sessions like I do.
And depending on what kind of data you're processing.
Exactly.
If it's just text versus images or what you're producing from it, that kind of makes a difference too.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into why part of the decision I made to store everything as Markdown files too, because you know it can read AI can read a PDF, can read a PowerPoint, it can read whatever, but if you just store it as text documents, it goes a heck of a lot faster. So I think that saves a little time.
Andrew, we got maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Really? Gosh, I barely even got through my slides.
Keep going. You got time.
Jason.
A lot of good questions too.
Yeah, and those are great questions. I'm glad you guys like piped up and stuff. So, yeah, I kind of talked about this, like the knowledge, my client knowledge base. It does automatically sync emails and calendars. I have that set up. I trust it because it's just fetching. You know, it's not sending emails to clients. It's not adding events to my calendar. I figure, okay, that's safe. I'm just pulling in information. So that runs on a schedule. I got a dashboard that it creates for me with like a little at-a-glance summary, and I got a screenshot of that too with some fake client information on there to share. And yeah, consistent structure, you know, like that file folder structure I mentioned with proposals, contracts, whatever. It's the same across all my clients, so it doesn't get too crazy, too much variation there to keep track of stuff. And setting up a new client just takes a few minutes, you know. Like I've got a script where I will tell it, okay, we're gonna set up a new client, and it walks me through an interview, and it says, what's the client's name? What is the label in Gmail? What is the client's contact information? What's their company? What's their website? You know, and it'll say, do you have a Trello board set up yet? No, I don't. And then I can optionally have it create the Trello board for me with the lists and everything so I can start tracking it. So I basically try to streamline everything, you know, like this slide says, you know, I still have the voice to text thing with Android Auto because that's awesome. I love that. I can track, you know, all my projects across everything in this little thing, this little knowledge base. I have templates for proposals and stuff, so it'll draft proposals for me. Doesn't send them because AI still will do silly things. But it saves me time. I can just go in and revise it and fix it where I need to, which usually there's a few things I have to tweak. You know, weekly planning, it just really helps plan my time for the week and keep on track with deadlines and stuff. And the meeting notes is really big. I use this Claude, not to be confused with Claude, Claude with a P. This little thing will record. It's recording right now, and it'll record, you know, anything you want. It's got an AI model that it uses to generate a summary of the meeting, but it also records the transcript. So I will grab both of those and feed that into my knowledge base. So it's got the summary and it's got the transcript of it. And sometimes I'll even ask Claude, hey, check the summary on this. Did it miss anything? And it'll go through and it'll sometimes correct what the summary was created by the meeting tool, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, I've got meeting summaries, meeting transcripts, like just trying to store as much information as I possibly can. And this screenshot kind of shows what it looks like when I'm using it. I got a big monitor. I will open up multiple terminal sessions. And in this instance, I've got 6 different Claude agents running. And each one is doing something different. You know, one of them is, can't read anything. Yeah, one of them was like syncing emails and stuff. Another one was, you know, reviewing some code for me. Another one was cleaning up. I had a Git repository with a ton of stale branches, and so I was having it identify them for me and just nuking 40 different Git branches so I didn't have to do it one at a time. So yeah, I'm always multitasking with it. I don't just have one Claude session going. You can hear outside my office how many I got going based on how loud my cooling fan's going on my laptop. You get 6 or 8 agents going, and it's, you know, flying along pretty good. And yes, as this slide shows, more money for pup cups because I'm playing more money. And so I showed some screenshots here of what it's like to set it up. You know, this thing is just asking me for the project description, contact names, etc. Gmail, I kind of went over that. It asks me what the label is, whatever.
These are your markdown files.
Yeah, it's writing this to the markdown. Yeah, so it's like an interactive script, just interviewing me, and I'm giving it the answers, and when it's done, it will create the markdown files. It will update information with like the shared script, so it knows like which Gmail label to pull from, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, it's creating everything for me there at that point. And yeah.
Will it do the research that might help you in identifying a good client for you and like backgrounds of what their weaknesses might be, things like that?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I do with the lead knowledge base is if somebody comes in, I will